And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Tuesday. It's June 22nd. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. I hope you got more rain at your house than I got at mine. But I'm afraid here in Wilson County, it wasn't a whole lot yesterday. But anyway, good morning to you. Welcome to our program, live, spontaneous, and unrehearsed, and presented today by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. The Vanderbilt Center for Women's Health, dedicated to delivering the highest care to women in all stages of life, is right now in Lebanon. The Vanderbilt Center for Women's Health provides a wide range of obstetrical and gynecological care, including annual well women exams and pap smears, preventive screenings, pregnancy care and delivery. They also offer same-day appointments. The Women's Health team is committed to caring for you and your unique needs. You'll also be happy to know that the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center is now serving patients in Wilson and surrounding counties. This nationally renowned center has experienced on-staff, board-certified radiation oncologists, the latest and most advanced radiation technology with pinpoint precision. The Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center treats all types of cancers, provides the highest quality protocol and technology in the industry, as well as convenient, real-time access to clinical data for patients through VanderbiltHealthConnect.com. Hospitals are for healing, new life, and recovery. They're places of innovation, learning, and exploration, but more than anything, hospitals are really about one thing: community. Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, honored to serve Wilson County and be part of all the great things that are happening here. And, of course, their care is in other locations throughout Wilson County and growing to provide you and your family with the right care in the most convenient location. You'll find clinics in and around Lebanon and Mount Juliet. They're nearby when you need them most. And, of course, right here in Lebanon, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, 1411 Baddour Parkway, Lebanon. Well, let me welcome County Attorney Mike Jennings to the first half this morning. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Now, I explained to you what happened, and I made a mistake a few weeks ago. The people who are going to be on the second half this morning are from First Baptist Church, Lebanon. Their 200th, I believe it is 200th anniversary they're going to be talking about. When I looked at the calendar, I always think of the third Tuesday of you being here.
Right.
And this was the fourth Tuesday.
Right.
So I said, yes, 7:30 is available. And then when I realized my mistake, I called you and said, Mike, if you could come at 7, I've arranged for Mount Juliet to be on next week because they'll have a meeting next Monday night. They'll be on the last Tuesday since we got 5 of them. But if you want me to put you at 7:30, I'll correct my mistake. And you said, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. And you know, you got some good folks coming on. That's a monumental thing, 200 years of a church. So that should be a good segment, too. I hope everybody will keep listening. Hope we don't run them off while you and I are talking.
I hope so, too. Well, I brought you, we're not going to say what's on it, but a couple of T-shirts I got for Father's Day, which you seem to enjoy one of them especially.
I did, both of them. I thought they're funny, and I'm you know, Coleman, I'm at that stage right now in politics. I just want people to do right. I don't care what party they're with. They just need to do their job.
Well, I was going to put that red one there over me this morning and take it off when we went to the 7:15 break, and I figured, well, I'll mess up my hair. So.
Yeah, we couldn't have that. And all the folks out in radio land would see that, and we can't have that.
We'll keep them in suspense. We've got to talk a little baseball.
Yep.
Coach Hutto, County Mayor Hutto told me yesterday that you had gone to Omaha to see the Vols play.
I did.
And I, man, and he says he's got to come back for the commission meeting Monday night.
I did, and I did that. I went out very late Saturday night and got back in yesterday about noon for the county commission, and hopefully, if Tennessee can pull it out today, I'm going to go back. But we didn't play well Sunday, and I don't know. Better snap out of it quick.
Well, see, now Texas has lost too, haven't they?
Texas, so this is an elimination game.
Loser's bracket, so the loser goes home.
It is.
Well, I'm pulling for your Vols today.
Well, I appreciate it.
But I hope that doesn't hurt you, the fact that
No. As I told you coming in, somebody in orange is going to win today, either the light orange or the burnt orange. So.
Yeah. What time's that game?
1 o'clock, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an afternoon game, and then the winner's bracket of that is tonight, and that will be Virginia and Mississippi State.
Yeah, right. Well, it's an exciting time, especially we've got 3 SEC teams out of 8 in that College World Series,
We do.
and I hope one of them can win.
I do too, and surprisingly, the two that have lost were the highest seeds, and they have lost to ACC teams. So you can imagine out there Sunday, instead of hearing SEC, you heard ACC, and
I'm not so sure that the best team isn't there. Arkansas is pretty good.
Arkansas was very good, I thought. And but takes one bad game, as you mentioned last night's game, one bad pitch,
Yep.
and it can change things. And how many times have you seen a 2-2 count on a hitter, and you think it's a strike, and the umpire calls it a ball, and the next pitch is a home run? What a difference one pitch can make.
And those pitches are so close. They can almost, some of them could almost go either way. Pitchers are so refined to try to, they don't want anything down the heart of the plate. They want it on the corners, and when it's on the corners and that ball's coming in there. I went to a batting cage one time, and I mean 70 miles an hour seemed awfully fast to me.
Yeah.
They're coming in at 95 miles an hour at times, and you've got to call that right then. It's a ball or a strike. And I feel for the umpires in a way, although I think they get paid pretty well. And they need to be good, but you can't. They do a lot of times go either way.
Yeah. And I heard Tom Glavine say one time, he was a Hall of Fame pitcher. He said, I lived on the corners, and he said on the nights that the umpire wouldn't give me the corner, he said I wouldn't last long.
Yeah.
He admitted, if I have to throw it, I can't rely on a fastball. I've got to hit the corners and throw some junk.
Yeah. Well, it's an exciting time, and we are in the good old summertime now.
Oh, it's baseball season. And I like baseball season. The older I get, I like it better.
You still like the Braves?
I do like the Braves, although I don't get to watch them as much, and it looks like they're struggling right now.
Yeah.
And I hadn't looked at the Reds lately.
Well, they were 4 games over 500 till they went to San Diego and lost 4 in a row, 2 of which they should have won. And then they played in Minnesota last night and lost that one in extra innings. So they lost 5 in a row, and they're 1 under 500 now.
Wow. And I believe, am I right, in a week or so, they've got a day honoring Coach Woody Hunt at Cincinnati?
Yes. I think it's next Tuesday night.
The 29th, I believe.
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah.
Yes, a week from tonight. Mm-hmm. I'd even thought about going, but I don't guess I can make it.
Well, I thought about that too. I'd like to still be in Omaha, but I don't think that's going to happen. Saw Coach Hunt last night, matter of fact. County Commission honored him, and he was there, and along with Dr. Stum and Ron Pavin, the athletic director, and good to see all those guys. They've done a good job for Cumberland University.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Woody getting the honor and getting to throw out the first pitch next Tuesday night in Cincinnati. I
hope some people will go up
Yeah.
and watch that.
I don't know how many, but there's going to be a number of them. There'll be probably at least 50 people up there from Lebanon to cheer him on when he does that, and that'll be great. Well, what's the big deal from I know what the big deal is. You passed a budget last night.
We did pass the budget and the tax rate, no tax increase. And then we went on to a normal June meeting, had a total of 28 resolutions. And that's not unusual the last month of the year. But we got the budget and the tax rate adopted the first 10 minutes of the meeting. And probably the easiest I've ever seen in my 31 years.
Well, you have, we talked about this yesterday with County Mayor Hutto, the fact you have these budget meetings ahead of time. And I don't think there's, most of that, as I understand it, gets ironed out in those. And there's not that much to negotiate or talk about even at the commission meeting. When you vote on it, it's pretty much already settled, isn't it?
It is, and Mayor Hutto has done a phenomenal job, in my opinion. It used to be that we had all these meetings, and a few county commissioners would drift into those meetings, but that, by and large, when we got to the county commission, they wanted to ask their questions then, and they had questions. Mayor Hutto has invited everyone to every meeting, but furthermore, he has taken a couple of opportunities to have just a public gathering, saying we're going to talk about the budget at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night, and all county commissioners are welcome. Aaron Maynard will present it, and y'all just ask all the questions you want to. That pretty much has shortened our county commission meeting because we got those questions out of the way. The amazing thing last night, I'm sure it's happened because time dulls the memory, but I don't remember passing a budget when somebody didn't try to make an amendment to it. They had some type of pet project they wanted to add, or they felt like this one didn't get all the money they should have. this department. So last night we went through with no amendments, and of course, when you got to the tax rate, because there's no tax increase, you're waiting on a motion, and when it got to that, there's 4 or 5 motions right off the bat. Everybody wants to sponsor the no tax increase.
Well, what as far as I remember, they said something about the schools that might have been Kenny Rich, I believe, when he was here last Friday. Said, "Well, we didn't give the schools everything they wanted, but we feel like we did a good job for them," something like that. And
I think they're right. I think Kenny's right. Good commissioner, by the way, very conscientious, and I think he's right on that. The schools asked for a lot. They always do. They got a lot this time. They didn't get everything they wanted, but nobody did. But they got a lot, and they starting off the Jeff Luttrell era with healthy budget.
well, one of the things we say no tax increase. There are some people who are going to be paying more
They are.
taxes because the value of their property is above the average increase, and there are
Correct.
some that will be paying a little bit less because the value of theirs is a little bit less than what the average increase is. I hope people understand that, because this happened to me one time when my taxes actually got a little bit lower because the average increase in the property appraisals was the average percentage was greater than what mine was, so I paid a little bit less, and that's going to happen again. And some people are going. In fact, I'm going to get hit pretty hard this time.
I am also, and there are going to be people that say, you said there wasn't a tax increase,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there was, and that's that Facebook stuff. But the last night, Commissioner Jerry McFarland made mention of that. He said, after they adopted the budget, he said, I hope everyone understands, we passed a budget that is revenue neutral. That
Right.
brings in the same amount of revenue to the county as it did last year, less the growth money, which is new construction. But he said there'll be some people are paying more, and there's some out there that'll pay less, and that's the nature of
That's
the beast.
the way it is every 5 years when
Every
they have the
5 years.
reappraisal.
That's correct.
Mike Jennings is here 30 minutes early this morning, but we appreciate him coming each time. We'll talk more after we go to a break here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:17 now. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, that regular oil change only $24.95, up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's picked up even more in the last few minutes with that traffic flow on 24 up by Harding Place. All that traffic behind it coming in from Rutherford County. Still trying to mop up that earlier wreck on Nolensville Pike at Antioch Pike. Also crashed 5700 block in Nolensville Pike, getting some attention right now. 65 south at Trinity Lane, already starting to bunch up. True Friends Moving Company is hiring. Call them today at 615-240-2811. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on this Tuesday. Our program is presented by Vanderbilt and Wilson County Hospital. Mike Jennings, as I said, we went to the break. He's here 30 minutes early today, and I explained that early. If you didn't hear it, it doesn't matter. But we've actually got probably a couple more minutes today. What else at the meeting last? There were, what, 28?
We had 28 resolutions. Well, actually 27. One of them we figured out was included in another one, so they didn't consider it. Probably need to mention Coleman. We do need to mention. Last night was Dr. Wright's last meeting.
Yes.
They had a resolution honoring her. Mayor Hutto said last night, and I think everybody that knows the situation would concur, the school system is in better shape now than it was when she took it. And she put the school board stressed emphasizing an increase in the ACT scores, emphasizing instructional curriculum, what's the word I'm looking for, computers
Yeah.
and that type of stuff. And they've done that. Plus, for the last 18 months or 16 months, whatever it is, they've dealt with the destruction of 2 schools and COVID-19.
Right.
That's about all any one person can handle.
Well, you've been in on some of that, and especially
have.
the negotiating with the insurance companies in the
have.
latter stages.
I
And
have.
so that's
Some days,
extra for you.
well, yeah. I mean, some days it just seemed like that's all we were doing. All I was doing was school stuff. But you have to go to whatever fire's the hottest. And at that time, getting those schools cleared away and getting them rebuilt. And then I wasn't involved so much on the day to day of how they dealt with COVID. But some people liked it, some people didn't, like anything else that you do. But we survived, and it looks like we're heading into a normal school year. And that's a credit to everybody that's worked on it.
Well, you are, I think, a whole lot more than on just a first name basis with Jeff Luttrell, our
Yes.
new director, or will be as of July 1st.
Yes. He'll do a great job. He'll do a good job. He is a people person. He is committed to education. He wants your child to be better tomorrow than he was today in education. And that's all you can ask for, and he will stress that. And we're fortunate here. We have a good educational system. I don't just say that. We have a good system.
How long before we're going to be entertaining the idea of financing another school? I don't think it would be a high school, but probably an elementary or middle school.
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but ironically, I do know a little something, very little, about a new high school. But Dr. Wright, in one of her comments in one of her last meetings, committee meetings, said that she would anticipate a sixth high school within 5 years.
Oh.
So, and of course, if you got a sixth high school, the people that are coming to the high school are coming up from elementary and middle, so there's going to have to be some more school building. There really is, and it's soon. We got a lot of people in this county.
And we're getting more every day.
Yeah, they love it here. The things you said, you know about what a good county and that. People know that. The word travels. And plus, so close to Nashville and working there. So.
Well, anything else from last night's meeting?
I'm trying to think. We did some last minute, not last minute, but end of the year stuff where some money had come in additionally. The trustees' office is funded off of commissions off the tax rate, and so we had 8 different resolutions dealing with increased trustees' commission. That's not more money coming in; that's more going to his department. And we did some things for WEMA, I'm trying 3 school system budgets amendments. One was the end of the year for the federal projects fund, and one was end of the year for a lot of their funds. And I'm trying to think. Seems like there's something I'm missing, but I can't think what it is, Coleman.
Well, there hadn't seemed to be anything that's really been of a controversial, just a super controversial nature, and I guess that we'll be heading that way over something one of these days. But it's been awfully peaceful, and
well, it has, and the guys that have served as county executive or county mayor for the last 30 years prior to Mayor Hutto, they will remember when the budget fights were so contentious because there's never enough money to go around.
Yeah.
And I would say, I had a saying, and most time I'd say it every year. I'd say when somebody'd get mad and they'd snap at each other, people that like each other would be fussing at each other. I'd say, folks, we're close to getting a budget because y'all mad at each other. It's time to put it to bed. And we didn't have to do that this time.
Yeah.
I kept waiting for something to happen. And truthfully, it's usually with the school system. Not that they get mad, but that they want more money, and people that wanted them to have more say the people that didn't, you're messing with the school system. Not this time. And so I was glad of it. As I tell people, I get paid the same thing whether you fight or you don't.
Well, now this next year will be an election year.
It will
and
be.
all the county not magistrates, county commissioners will be up for re-election, this sort of thing. And it's almost an unwritten rule that you don't have a tax increase in an election year.
Well, that's true, but I will tell you from looking at the finances this time, I don't think there's going to be a need for it. Now, I may be wrong. I may be totally missing something. I am going to say something I was thinking about on the way in this morning. I think I mentioned to you 3 or 4 radio shows ago, which would have been 3 or 4 months ago, we're not going to have a tax increase this time. I just don't see it. And then and the next week or two after that, on Facebook, they lit it up. County's about to raise taxes. You know, they're going to get in their power. They don't know how to manage their money, and that made me mad. And I just sort of cut my phone off and bit my tongue. But I'm going to crow a little bit this morning. I said all along we weren't going to have a tax increase. There was no need for one, and they knew that. Now, a couple of times during budget meetings, somebody would say, well, if we funded everything, it would take a dime tax increase. Okay, that's a statement of fact. If we funded everything, everybody, but nobody stood up and said, I think we ought to raise taxes. Nobody. And there was no support for it.
Yeah.
So we didn't have one, and all you guys on Facebook argue about something else. Maybe your reappraisal, but not the actual
Yeah.
budget.
Well, I do hope that people who wind up paying more taxes, not because of a tax increase, but because their property is praised higher than the
Yeah.
average, and that's the whole
Yeah.
thing right there.
Yeah.
That they will understand, and there's not a lot of backflow from that. We got about 5 minutes here. We usually get around talking a little bit about Watertown.
Yes,
and,
sir.
I want to know what's going on in the Liquid City.
Well, we will. We got our budget passed on first reading. No tax increase. We will have one a week from Monday night. Will be the adoption of budget on second reading. We'll have ours done by June 30th.
Well, that's interesting too. You in the city of Lebanon, always have to have read it twice, do it twice before it's official. Why don't we have two budgets for the county? I mean,
I don't know.
I guess it's Tennessee law or something.
Yeah,
or
county
the
commissioners.
charter. Or
I think, and this is a guess. Maybe not even an educated guess, but the county used to be run by the quarterly court, and they only met every 3 months. So you'd have to have it take 6 months to adopt a budget. You know. So
Okay.
as soon as you adopted one, you start on the next one.
And I remember that. Yeah, when
It
I
hadn't
was
been too
much
many
younger,
years.
they only met
Yeah.
4 times a year,
Yep, and meet all day.
and we had 2 from every district back then.
And I've heard many of the old timers say, you know, they met all day, you wouldn't get nothing done in the morning. They'd go to lunch and come back and they'd get everything done. They just wanted to have a good lunch.
Yeah, and then of course it's milking time.
That's right. Time to go to work.
What else happened in Watertown?
Well, everything's everything is getting back to normal. We've had as far as I know, a good community league baseball season. We have had the drive-in. I think is open now 7 days a week. A lot of activity in town, a lot of events. We'll have a jazz festival. I know you had John Jewell on a couple
I
of
hope
weeks
to have
ago.
him back again before that event.
John and them were working hard on that. And then we will have our annual 4th of July fireworks thing on the 4th of July. Some people said you're going to have it on the 3rd or the 5th. No, we're going to do it on 4th of July.
Squirt gun parade.
Squirt gun parade. I'm not sure about the time on that, and I apologize, but it'll be in the afternoon. Won't interfere with church activities.
Yeah.
And then that night about, we always say just about dark, usually 8:50 to 9, we shoot the fireworks. Depending on the weather, we have shot them just a little earlier when we knew there was a line of showers, something coming in.
Yeah.
But we'll shoot them about 8:50 or 9 o'clock.
Well, what's happening on the square? Anything?
Yeah, things seem to be picking up. Coleman, I'm down here most of the time, and so I judge by how successful Watertown is by our local option sales taxes, and ours are up just like everybody else's. And frankly, they exceeded my budgeted expectations this time quite a bit. And during a pandemic year, that was amazing. Now, I don't know if people stayed at home and bought rather than traveling, but we've had a good year.
Yeah.
Government, it hadn't been a challenge to do a budget. It has been a challenge. Let me back up from that. But it hadn't been difficult to do because there's enough money to go around. It's time for what we need.
Well, now, at one time there, you were taking care of your people at City Hall and weren't allowing, there was some restrictions. Has any of that been lifted?
We are still closed at the business office. We found that it works pretty well, and people have gotten used to it. So if you come knock on the door, we'll open the door. But I got 2 ladies that work for me. I can't afford for either one of them to get COVID, and then the other one have to quarantine, and I'm out of luck. We have still not opened up the community center to public use. There are a lot of reasons for that. During the pandemic and having to broadcast the meetings, we set up a lot of equipment, bought some equipment, and it's back there now. We don't want to take it down and set it up every month. But we have let the senior citizens start coming back to use it once a month. So things may be changing on a permanent basis there. We'll just have to see what the council wants to do with that.
Well, we started talking baseball this morning.
Yep.
I guess we got a minute to end.
Yep. We can't do it justice, but we'll do what we can.
Tennessee and Texas today.
Today.
The winner moves on, the loser goes home.
Yep.
And Mississippi State will be playing.
Virginia.
Is that today too?
Tonight.
Tonight, okay. Well, and that's the bottom bracket. Then Vanderbilt will get in the losers bracket, and they'll have to play Stanford, I believe it is.
Yeah, Vanderbilt will play Stanford, and I thought Arizona would go further than they did. They were the number 5 seed.
Surprised me, yes.
Stanford will play tomorrow night in the losers bracket, play Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And then if Tennessee survives, we will play Thursday night in the losers bracket.
It's better to stay in that winners bracket, but if you can still lose one time and be okay.
You can, but it works. It works on your pitching.
Mike, good to see you as always. Thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
coming early today, and we'll see you next month.
All right.
Mike Jennings, our county attorney, the mayor of Watertown, and as I say, UT fan extraordinaire. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Stay with us for more here on FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota Land Pride quality tractor implements, including cutters, finish mowers, box blades, tillers, and more. 5-year gearbox warranty, extremely durable and well built. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. There's a car fire here getting some attention on 40 eastbound. Before you make your way up to Fessler's, the heaviest flow of traffic obviously is westbound on 40 here coming past Fessler's. They just moved all the damaged vehicles to the side on 24 westbound at Haywood Lane, and traffic's really heavy coming in right now in that area from Rutherford County. Prince's Hot Chicken is now open inside the Assembly Food Hall at the National Museum of African American Music on Broadway. Check them out at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
West Tree Service, locally owned and operated in Lebanon, Tennessee. With over 25 years experience, our primary goal is to provide high-quality professional service with attention to detail. At West Tree Service, we use better equipment to be more efficient, which equals reasonable prices for our customers. We offer free estimates with no obligation. We are licensed and fully insured. West Tree Service, honest service, says professional, courteous, and on time. For more information, visit westtreecare.com or call 615-456-2011.
At Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, world-class care is a heartbeat away. In fact, we offer the same world-class attention Middle Tennessee has come to rely on from a Vanderbilt Health Hospital. Supported by over 200 specialties, an expanded emergency department staffed with Vanderbilt Health physicians 24/7, and greater investments in life-saving technologies and care. It's just one more way we're making healthcare personal.
Here in the mid-state today, we'll have a mix of sun and clouds with highs only topping out in the upper 70s. On Wednesday, bright sunny skies return with temperatures reaching the low 80s. For Thursday, highs climb into the upper 80s and mostly sunny skies. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2. It is a Tuesday morning and time for us to talk about Hearthside Senior Living. We have Janet Presley today. We'll tell you that Sean Dozier is on special assignment, as we say. And, Janet, you came out and saw what it was like last week, I think, and so you're here today to do the talking, right?
I am.
Good morning and welcome again. What is your role at Hearthside?
I am the front office manager.
Okay. All right. Well, Hearthside, of course, retirement and assisted living community at 215 Castlights Avenue North. As we said, Sean is the executive director, but Janet has her role, and she's here to talk about when it's time for a helping hand. And you were here last week seeing this, and I forgot I asked you. I know how long you've been at Hearthside.
3 years Saturday.
Okay. All right. Well, you feel comfortable now, no doubt.
I do. And it's an exciting time at Hearthside right now. We have opened up. Families are coming in. The residents are getting to go out with their families for lunches, visits at their homes. We're starting our remodel. We have got some of that started already. Plans, as soon as the state gets everything approved, we'll start on the rest of it.
Well, the remodeling, to what extent are you going to remodel?
Everything's going to be touched inside the building. And as residents move out, we'll remodel those rooms for the next person coming in. We're not going to disrupt their living to remodel the rooms, but like I said, as they move out, we'll fix them up for the next guest.
Well, that's an exciting time, and
It
I
is.
guess time for a little change there. And,
It is just a facelift.
Yeah, right. But I do know, and Sean has talked about this quite a bit for several weeks, that as restrictions have lifted, spirits have kind of been buoyed a little bit too, and it's maybe a little bit happier
It's so amazing
place.
just to see their little faces when their families come in or their families are picking them up to take them to dinner or take them to their houses or stuff. It's just, it makes a tear come to your eye to see their faces, just the excitement after being shut down for so long.
Well, how much of the COVID regulations are still in place? Are you still
So we're
wearing masks?
asking that when you come in, we have the AccuShield in place there. So you'll sign in on the AccuShield and it takes your temperature and it asks you the screening questions for the COVID. And then while you're in the common areas, we do ask that you wear a mask around our residents. Once you get in your loved one's room, then you can take it off and visit as you would in your home. But just in the common areas, we're still requiring the mask.
But that is such an improvement because at one time there wasn't any visitation, right?
No, it was awful. Like, we got so tired of looking at each other. We're glad to have new faces.
All right, and of course you're still getting those 3 meals plus snacks every day.
We are, and ice cream. We have an ice cream freezer that you can visit anytime you want.
Well, how are the gardens coming along?
The gardens,
Oh,
we haven't had a lot of activity in the garden this year, but it went from cold to really, really hot this year. So they haven't been out there a whole lot, but we hope to get that in place.
Yeah, okay. Well, and it's probably not for everybody, but there's some people kind of thrive on that and like to see things grow and
Yes,
whatever. Do you have any openings right now?
we do. We have one medium room. We had a tour on it yesterday, so we're waiting to hear back on it, and we do have a couple of small left. But we've got like 4 new residents moving in the next month.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. 615-443-1994 is the number, and your website is hearthsideliving.com.
Hearthside Senior Living.
hearthsideseniorliving.com. And you can find a lot more than we have time to talk about here on the website. But I guess people see something, so you have an opening, have questions, they usually give you a call, don't they?
Sure. You call
And
the front
you're there
office
and-
at 615-443-1994.
And you're right there to answer the questions.
I am.
And of course, Sean is there as the executive director to oversee it all. And we haven't talked about your retirement community, but it's been full. You got a waiting list there, right?
We do, and add to it pretty often.
And that in itself tells you the popularity and how much people like that, and even how much they still got $3 meals for them.
They do, every day.
Not for everybody, but for the people that live in the retirement community. They
lunch
can-
and dinner.
I'll bet they take advantage of that quite
We have
often.
several that do,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, anything else you want to tell us this morning before we let you go? How about a Hearthside hello?
I do have a Hearthside
All right.
hello. It's not a typical one, but I want to wish my husband a happy anniversary and a Hearthside hello. 34 years.
34 today?
Saturday.
Okay.
I mean, Sunday. This coming Sunday.
This coming Sunday. All right. 34 years.
34
Well,
years.
happy anniversary to
Thank
you
you.
both. And I'm glad you chose him for a Hearthside hello. Janet, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having
Janet
me.
Presley with Hearthside Senior Living, 215 Castlights Avenue North, right here in Lebanon. Again, the phone number 615-443-1994. All right, I want to welcome from the First Baptist Church in Lebanon, Pastor David Freeman. Good morning.
Good morning.
And you are the pastor.
I am
All
the
right.
pastor. That's what they tell
We
me.
have Sherry Green here who has set this program up. And Sherry, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I've known you, I guess, since high school. and I've known your two older sisters a little bit. And,
Yes.
Your father at one time, I believe, worked at the road commission, didn't he?
No.
Where did he?
Wilson County Motor.
Okay. Well, anyway, he's Dan Green.
That's right.
Well, anyway, it's good to see you today. And Pastor Freeman said you had all the answers, especially the historical ones. But let me, Sherry, you've been here. You were a school teacher
I was.
for a good while, and I'm sure a lot of people know you, but I don't know how many of our audience know Pastor Freeman here. But David Freeman, if you will, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been here, where
Sure.
you grew up.
Well, I'm from West Tennessee. Martin, Tennessee is my hometown, and been here for 14 years at First Baptist Lebanon, and been looking forward to our big event that we're here to talk about for that whole time. So I'm excited about that. I've got family, a wife, and 3 kids and a daughter-in-law. And expecting our first grandson this fall. So,
Well, if you're like me, you have to stop and think, but how old are your children?
okay, well, yeah, I do have to stop and think. My oldest son and his wife are 26, and then I have another son who's 23, and then a daughter who's 17. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's where we're at.
Well, good. Well, this no doubt is an exciting time, 200 years, and a lot of things have changed in 200 years.
A lot of things have changed, yes, for sure, and it's been really one of my favorite hobbies. Really, is to go into the archives, as I call it, where Sherry keeps so many of our historical documents and photos. It's just been a exciting thing for me over the years, just to go in, even inspirational, honestly, for me to look back and see all the great pastors and leaders and members at First Baptist, and the church has just been such an important part of this community. And so I've learned a lot, and I've used that to guide us through the years.
Do you know how many? I mean, are you the 100th, the 150th?
Oh boy, I haven't counted them. Sherry may know that. Pastors, it's
She didn't know I was going to ask.
yeah. I don't think I've ever counted them up, but there's a long list,
Yeah.
of course, that goes way back. And so that's a great question. We'll have to get the answer to that here.
All right. What all are you doing to celebrate? What's the 200-year celebration? What all do you have planned?
This Sunday, we are changing our Sunday school time from our regular 9:15 to 9. Sunday school 9 to 10. Service at 10:30 as usual. We have some local dignitaries that are going to come in and celebrate with us. A former pastor is coming, and Pastor David asked him to preach our sermon that morning, which he is going to do. And the time that he was out, and that would be Ray Cleek. And when he is coming, at the time he was there, the minister of music was Chris Krause. He's coming also. And Don McElroy, who has been with us, he's retired now, but he will be with us that day. So those 3 gentlemen that worked as a team will be on site that day, and we're excited about that. We have a photographer on site who will be taking certain shots, but then candid shots. Mm-hmm. Following, we're going to have a choir with special music. We're going to try to have a group picture made on the front step after the service. And then we Baptists like to eat. So we're going to have a dinner on the ground out on the lawn to the west of the church. Uh-huh. We do have tent tables and chairs, so it's not actually sitting on the ground, but it will have the outdoor atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
So we're excited about all of those events.
Well, no doubt you're expecting a bigger crowd than usual, a lot of people to come, and as you mentioned, some dignitaries even going to be there. So it's going to be a special day for you, no doubt.
Yes, sir, and we have what we call the chapel. We have cleaned it out, and we are making a as David called it, a pop-up museum. So everything in there is going to be related to the history over our 200 years. These are items that some people have never seen and probably will never see again.
Well, what kind of building did you have in the beginning, and where was it? Do you know?
I know somewhat, yes. Originally, the church, formed in 1821, had no meeting place. Mm-hmm. They would probably meet in homes, the local courthouse, such as that. Mm-hmm. They had property donated, 3 acres, as near as we can figure. It is on the north side of North College.
Okay.
So not where we are now. They built a log structure to worship in, and as they outgrew that, on that same property, they built a frame structure. I'm depending on past researchers for this information. Then they acquired property where we are now on East Main, and we moved there in 1840.
Okay, all right.
And we've been on that site since that time. The first building was a small brick building, and it was brick. Then that was later remodeled into a twin tower brick building, which stood for a number of years. Then it was raised, and we built a building that looks very much like the one we have now. But that one burned in 1966. Yeah. So it was rebuilt and looks very much like the original structure.
She's done her work, done her homework.
I told you she knows the dates. I wouldn't come without her for sure. One of the things that's interesting also is that the building that we have now, the Cornerstone, we opened that earlier this year, and I guess that's after about 70 years that building and that Cornerstone was there. And so some of the items inside that museum came out of the Cornerstone, which they were amazingly well preserved, I would say, Sherry, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. The papers that were in there were just pristine.
Yeah. Okay. We need to take a break right here. Pastor David Freeman, Sherry Green from Lebanon's First Baptist Church are here celebrating 200 years this coming Sunday. We'll continue in a moment after this break on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And to 747, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and the low price tire guarantee on all tires every day up to 30 days after the sale. There'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. We're wrapping up this car fire here on 40 eastbound. Just before you get up to Fessler's, the heaviest flow of traffic's coming the other direction on 40 westbound right now. Approaching Fessler's, mopping up that earlier wreck 24 westbound at Haywood Lane. Traffic's on the increase I-40 east now through Kingston Springs. You got all that traffic flow coming in right now from Dixon County. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar is home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check out all their flavors at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us. And if you just turned our way, thank you very much. Pastor David Freeman with Lebanon's First Baptist Church is here along with Sherry Green. Sherry, you, I take it, grew up in First Baptist Church?
Yes, I did. Both my parents were, and my sisters were already members of the church when I came along.
Yeah. Well, you're here sort of our historian this morning, but evidently, is she kind of been in charge of planning this whole
Well, when it was time to organize this, there was only one name that I could think of, and it was Sherry. And yes, she put the team together. She's been the leader I'm her helper, and that's what we've been doing. And she is the person for the moment, for sure.
Well, I think you've had a sign out that said something about 200 years for a while, but really your celebration is just a one-day thing, pretty much. Is that a correct statement?
Well, Sunday is our big homecoming worship service, but we're also having an event next Wednesday, the 30th. The 30th is actually the church's, what we would say it's our birthday. That's the actual day that was constituted, June 30th. And so we knew a lot of folks, of course, will be in their own churches on Sunday, won't be able to be with us for the Sunday event. But we also wanted to have a community event where we just invite our whole community. And we've kind of been known over the years for our Halloween events. And so this is similar to that. It's just a big block party outside. We're calling it Light Up Lebanon, and bounce houses and live music and food trucks, and then fireworks at the end of the night. The same fireworks company that does the Nashville Sounds, they're coming out to do that for us. And so it's an opportunity for us just to continue the celebration and actually have on our birthday, and we're going to give away 200 birthday cupcakes to the first 200 folks that come. So we're just trying to extend our celebration beyond Sunday and have that
well, I'm
community.
glad you pointed it out. But it actually was constituted June 30th, 1821.
That's
so
right.
200 years.
So we decided it's 200 years is worth a week of celebrating. So we're going to extend that.
And for those who weren't listening earlier, I believe you said this Sunday, Dr. Cleek will do the sermon. Is that right?
That is correct.
Choir, and you mentioned Don McElroy. I remember him. He was there for a long time. He'll be there. And
Yes, sir.
Somebody else, I believe you mentioned, or was it?
The minister of music at that time, Chris Kraft.
Yes. Okay. All right. All those people will be there, and so will it be standing room only?
Well, we would love to see that. We have a lot of space. God's blessed us for sure, and so everyone should be able to be there, be seated comfortably, and enjoy that time. And so we know a lot of people in Lebanon have some history with us. They went to Bible school there, or maybe they went to our church as a child. And what we've been trying to say is if you have any history at all, or if you don't have any, just a friend of our church, we would just love to have anybody that feels like they want to be a part of this celebration. It is wide open to everyone, and we would love to see some of our former members, and we've reached out to our leaders and pastors, but we also have a lot of folks that just maybe they played basketball in our gym or went to Upward Basketball. Just anyone that has a connection, we'd love to have them. We got plenty of room and plenty of food, because when you know how that goes, our ladies they'll bring it in, and there'll be plenty to eat, and we just want to have a great day of celebrating.
Well, it sounds like who else is you've been the leader here, Cher, but you've had some other people on the committee, maybe, or
Yes,
you want to
sir.
recognize
We've
that
had church members on the committee. We've had Mary McDougall, Randall Keith, Martin Frost, Rob Spruill, and then we had a couple of others who were with us part of the time, but for various reasons had to bow out. So that has basically been the committee, and we've had the wonderful support of Pastor David in whatever we wanted to do or thought we would like to do. One thing that hasn't been mentioned this morning is on Sunday, the day of the celebration, we will be recognizing a special group of people, those who have been members 50 years plus.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to recognize that group of people. We think they're pretty special because they've been around for that long.
There may be a few people listening now who weren't, say, 15 minutes ago when you were telling us kind of the agenda for the day. Won't you go through that again? What's happening Sunday?
All right. We will start at 9 o'clock, Sunday school, 9 o'clock. The service is at 10:30. There'll be a little buffer in there. The chapel has been turned into a museum, and we would invite people to come and look in our museum at things that they may have never had the opportunity to see before and may never again. We will have them on display later, but when they're all together in one place, it's much easier. So we hope that that will spark some interest. And then, as I said, the service at 10:30, we will have some local dignitaries who will come and celebrate with us for a few minutes that morning. We'll have a special choir that day, and then our preaching, photographer on site taking candid shots wherever, and then the dinner on the ground, which is adjacent to the building on the west side.
And I think you did say in Dr. Cleek doing the sermon.
Yes, sir.
So that will probably bring back memories for a lot of people. He was there a pretty good while.
About 14 years.
Right. He and I have talked about that. I've almost caught him, but when he left the church, he'd been the longest serving senior pastor at that time. So, Dr. Cleek was a very important part of our church.
So you've almost
caught him, but
you've been there almost.
Yeah, but maybe in time. But he certainly was an important pastor for our church. So we were excited that he's still close by and able to come, and just talked to him yesterday. And so I know he'd love to see folks that he ministered to during his time.
Well, and then again, the Wednesday evening. Wednesday is actually the date of when the church was constituted.
That's right.
200 years ago. So you got more celebrating to be done then, and that's going to be. That's not exactly a church service.
That's right. It's a block party. We're calling it a birthday party since it's our church birthday. It's actually called Light Up Lebanon, and that is referring to the finale, our fireworks finale. We're going to have the Road Crew playing that night, which is a band that's played in Lebanon. Their drummer's a member, actually our drummer, and Jason Harmon. They're a great family band, great for everybody, and just a lot of fun. All the food trucks, bounce houses. It's just going to be a party, really. Yeah. And that's what we want to invite, especially those who can't come on Sunday. But anyone that's here on Sunday, or if you can't come out on Wednesday. It's really just our gift to the community. When we celebrate something in our church, we like to include our community. And so it's our opportunity to do that.
All right. Well, we were talking during the break about the fire that happened back in the 60s. And I remember Bob Capra was the minister at the time. And that happened on a Sunday, and I was out here working. I remember doing a bulletin about it and a news story later on. But I think his words were something, we will rebuild or we'll revive or whatever. Joe Grant got a quote from him that was in the news. I still remember that. And so you made it through that. You remember that, don't you, dear?
Oh, I absolutely do. It was October 2nd, 1966. I lived in the upper part of Lebanon at that time with my parents, and we could hear sirens, and we just threw clothes on and went to church, and there it was burning, and other people came in. There might have been one or two in their bathrobes, that kind of thing. Right. And some did not know until they arrived for church dressed in their Sunday clothes. So what we did was we still had access to the education building. They went in and brought out a few chairs, but we had worship service that morning in the parking lot.
This thing you opened,
the Cornerstone.
The Cornerstone. How long had that been?
About 70 years.
Well, tell us more about that, if you can. That was quite interesting.
It was so exciting, Coleman. We had a gentleman there that had a special saw and opened the Cornerstone, which is located on the front east corner of the building proper. So he got it open, and...
Oh, when was this?
This was back in October.
Okay, last October. Okay,
yes.
All right.
Yes. Then he reached his hand in there. When he brought his hand out, he had a brick in his hand. I was pretty sure I knew what that was. It was a brick from the old twin tower building that had been placed in there. Then he pulled out a copper box, which was, what size was the copper box?
Oh, yeah, probably 8 by 10, kind of a shoebox size, not that
Not
deep,
that
but
thick,
yeah.
but it had been welded. I was looking for a hinge or something to open. And so, how are we going to get into this box? The gentleman that opened the cornerstone said he had a saw, and he opened it for us. And we reached in there, he did, started pulling things out. We were amazed. They were pristine. The papers may have yellowed a little bit, but it was clear, it was legible. There was a Democrat from the time that cost 5 cents.
That's a newspaper for those that don't know.
Yeah, the Tennessean at that time cost 15 cents. There was a small Bible. There was a list of those on the building committee, a list of people who bought a brick for the new building, a list of people who were the church roll. There were signatures of those on the building committee. It was just lots of bulletins from both 1950 and 1951, just showing what was happening before and after. It was just marvelous.
Well, we believe we are out of time. But thank you so much for coming out this morning. Pastor David Freeman, Sherry Green, Lebanon's First Baptist Church, 200-year celebration, a service, big day this Sunday, and then the Light Up Lebanon next Wednesday. Right. So it's two different things to it, and we appreciate y'all being here to tell us about it.
Thank you for having us. And again, we want to just invite our whole community to come and celebrate with us.
All right, great. So, David and Sherry, thank you very much. That's it for Tuesday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Wednesday edition. Till then, I wish you a terrific day.